Hey, this is Dr. J, and I wanted to follow up on a video that I did that got a good amount of attention, and certainly I got a lot of positive comments. And the topic was something that I call shamanic shame. Now, shamanic shame is really just a term I made up for people who have disconnected or dissociated from their belief in the spirit world. Now, this is typically a phenomenon we see in the Western world. It's not particularly common in traditions where people grow up with an accepted belief in the spirit world. And my concern is that when you have a natural feeling about that, a natural belief in that, a natural connection to that, and you deny it, then you deny the wholeness of yourself. You deny the guidance that comes from a relationship with helping spirits, and you live in a kind of fractured reality that doesn't truly reflect who you feel you are or what you truly believe in your heart. Now, in that video, I talked about 5 core components to shamanic shame, but there is an important one that I felt that I missed, and I just want to name it in this shorter video, although I do have a longer one that elaborates on all this. The 5 components of shamanic shame are cultural conditioning, that we've been taught that it's wrong or not true. The fear of appropriation, the idea that if it's not naturally in our culture, we'll never be able to find it because we're going to be terrible people if we learn something from another tradition. Self-doubt, which means we don't know that we really could connect with the spirits again if we wanted to. The desire for approval, which of course all the previous components are ultimately feeding, right? If I want to fit into my family, my workplace, my community, and if they don't really seem to believe in this, I'm not going to talk about it. And then finally, imposter syndrome, or the crippling power of comparison, that if I embrace it, maybe I should still keep my mouth shut because maybe I don't understand it as well as other people, or maybe it's not right for me to speak about it. Other people are more gifted or talented or powerful or whatever it may be. But the big missing number 6 is intergenerational trauma. Now, intergenerational trauma may be in your biological ancestry, or I would argue it could also be in our collective, or you might say past life ancestry, meaning that at some level your consciousness is connected to the pain of the persecution, the ostracizing, or even murder that happened to hundreds of thousands, well, ultimately millions of people when we consider the genocide against Indigenous people, for simply believing in the spirit world. If we have any residual memory or sense in ourself of that incredible torture or punishment or hurt that we ourselves experienced or our ancestors experienced, or simply that lives in the consciousness of our community because we historically, ancestrally were persecutors, or we historically, ancestrally were persecuted, and I'd argue we are all probably both, then there's going to be a very natural resistance to really embrace the spirit world and to really feel comfortable naming it wherever we are and with whoever we're with. But it's time to heal that, because our world is facing crisis after crisis and breakdown after breakdown, and we need the fullness of the human experience to address that. We need the fullness of our universe, of our spiritual reality, to guide us, to help us, to share with us the decisions and the healing path. So your work to heal shamanic shame is not just for yourself. It is for those that have gone before, and without a doubt, it's for our common future.